Good evening. Good evening. How you guys doing? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Let me get my life together up in here. Un momento, guys. One moment. I'll be right with you. Yes. So yesterday I was online. I did a live stream. I want to just put out there fair use, fair use, fair use. I did a live stream last night. I did a book review on Kim's Lost Words, chapters 1 through 8. I stopped at 8. I'm going to continue tonight with 8 until the end. That's what I'm going for. So this is a book review, an audio, reading word for word from Kim's Lost Words, the exact thing that's in print. You comment, let me know if you got the book, if you saw it, you downloaded it, you bought it on Amazon, on Etsy, did you see it on YouTube being transcribed by somebody else? Definitely let me know. I want to make a shout out to the guys I met last night. I definitely met a new four last night. Sorry, I had another tab open. My bad, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna just jump right into it. So you can look on Etsy, ETSY, Amazon. There's also any of these free websites that let you download and download a book and review it online. Like try these websites. You can probably find this book. Again, the title of this book is called Kim's Lost Words. You guys know about the book right now. If you're under a rock, you don't know. But if you've been on social media, if you've been on the news, if you've been, hearing word of mouth, everyone knows about this book, Kim's Lost Words. So I definitely did chapters 1 through 8 yesterday. And from that, I definitely I'm going to pick up today with the remaining chapters. As you guys saw yesterday, it was pretty quick. I ran through them pretty quickly. They weren't like, several pages per chapter. Some chapters are like maybe 2 pages long. So again, back to the Cosby, Kelly, Epstein, Weinstein saga kind of situation. We're back there again, and Cassie did the thing when she dropped her video. This just went viral, and now there's a book out. You guys know the book. You know the book is called Kim's Lost Words. If you read it, let me know. Leave a comment in the chat. You're gonna buy it. You know someone who's read it. Definitely let me know. Fair use, full disclaimer in effect with this video. Again, in the comments, let me know. Did you buy it? Did you see it? Did you get a copy of it? Did you download it online? Let me know. I'm interested to know. Some people are now saying, I'm hearing now in the streets that the family has spoken up and now you can even purchase the book. So I don't know, but shout out to Irby Fatal. He was with me last night when I was doing my first 8 chapters or 7 chapters of the book, so to say. Shout out to Irby Fatal, 4919, definitely the best mod in the world. He definitely wrote out with me last night while I was doing these chapters, and I'm trying to finish it out today. So I want to know at the end of the day, what are your thoughts? What are your views, your opinions? We got bloggers out here, we got news celebs, we got regular people chiming in with their 2 cents, their 3 cents. So it's a lot to go on, but this is my era. I was born in the '80s. Definitely was a part of the '90s hip hop era, New York City. So all this definitely touches home to me, and I wanted to talk about it. And fair use, fair use, fair use. Again, as I said from the beginning, and I'm gonna jump right back into where I left off last night. So starting at chapter 8, Kadida or Kadada. Here we go, y'all. Actress, model, and fashion designer Kadada Jones was Tupac Shakur's fiance and is the daughter of record producer Quincy Jones and actress Peggy Lipton. Being around other celebrities was just a part of life. Meeting Kadada was just one of those events, and as time went on, we became close. We hung out together, went shopping, and so on. It was about the same time I met Kimora. Those were the days, or so I thought. We always had girl talk, and the fact that she was dating someone I had previously been with wasn't a source of contention. We didn't get jealous of each other either. It was just a girl talk stuff. No, I did not become intimate with Kadada. Kimora was too jealous for that. Yes, Kadada knew about Kimora. Sean and I all been together sexually. Of course she did. We shared that kind of thing. We were open and honest with each other about almost everything. A true friendship, except I couldn't be open and honest about everything. Not anymore. Sean made sure of that. Kadada and Pac were the greatest couple. He was always so cool and yet sexy. She was beautiful and fun. But for all the tension and beef, we used to all hang out together. It was always dope vibes. But with Pac shooting and the suspicious surrounding Sean and Jimmy, the vibes between Kadada and I weren't always perfect. Then came the night. Award shows weren't anything new for us at this point. We dolled up as the men groomed. We didn't choose what we wore. A stylist prepared our color palettes, a makeup artist did our makeup, and a hairstylist did our hair. This was just the way of things. We shared the best stylist in the business. Sometimes we would all go in the studio for an event to get our measurements taken, but this time Kadada seemed different. I felt like something was wrong, but when I probed her, she wouldn't say anything. Then the day of the event was there. We would all see each other inside. Even though Sean was my man as far as props, I had nothing on to Kadada. Being Quincy Jones' daughter had perks, and superstardom was among them. Pac wasn't there. When she saw us, she came over to our table. We sat around, kicked it in a very dope vibe. Sean knew he was going to clean up this award show. He had all but taken over the East Coast musically. With all the hits, there really was no way he wouldn't. Bad Boy is Hall of Fame stuff now, said Sean P. Diddy Combs knew it. Sean smiled at Kadada as she sat at her table, but something about the smile didn't seem authentic. Soon I would know why. He's sick, and when he has a grudge against someone, as she sat, Sean said, Bad Boy is going to clean the fuck up. From this table with Faith, Chris replied, Hell yeah, and that new shit was busting out, gonna have these niggas sick. Feel like I have to reread this whole part because I feel like I'm reading it kind of slow. I want to make it, sound contentious. So I'm gonna start again. We didn't choose what we wore. A stylist prepared our palettes, a makeup artist did our makeup, and a hairstylist did our hair. This was just the way of things. We shared the best stylists in the business. Sometimes we would all go to the studio for an event to get our measurements taken, but this time Kadada seemed different. I felt like something was wrong, but when I probed her, she wouldn't say anything. Then the day of the event was here. We would all see each other inside. Even though Sean was my man as far as props, I had nothing on Kadada being Quincy Jones' daughter had perks, and superstardom was among them. Pac wasn't there. When she saw us, she came over to our table. We sat around kicking it in a very dope vibe. Sean knew he was going to clean up this award show. He had all but taken over the East Coast musically. With all the hits, there really was no way he wouldn't. Bad Boy is Hall of Fame stuff now, said Sean P. Diffie Combs. Knew it. Sean smiled at Kadada as she sat at our table, but something about the smile didn't seem authentic. Soon I would know why. He's sick. When he was a gr- when he has a grudge against someone, as she sat, Sean said, "Bad Boy's going to clean the fuck up." From his table with Faith, Chris replied, "Hell yeah!" And that's the new shit we busting out. Gonna have these niggas sick. Kadada signaled for the waiter to pour her a glass of ginger ale that sat over at her table. As the waiter refreshed her drink, she said, Pox is gonna get some love too. Sean grimaced. Oh, come on, Sean. I know y'all got differences, but y'all have to admit the man makes great music. Sean looked at me at the corner of his eyes and then took another sip of his favorite cognac and replied, Bad Boy got the hottest music on the fucking planet. But I ain't tripping. Everybody gotta get their shine, right? Kadada sighed, Sean, Tupac think you were involved with him getting shot. You two were so close. You need to make this right. Sean replied indignantly, why the fuck would that nigga think I had anything to do with it? Kadada retorted, Sean, can you blame him? Sean was obviously not happy with the question by his reply. Hell yeah, I blame him. We had a good thing going, all of us. That nigga turned on me and he has the fucking balls to blame me for his shooting. The indignity he's managed to spew out while lying through his teeth was something I did not expect. I was thrown back for a moment, but before interjecting, Da, do we have to do this tonight? It's Sean's big night. Kamora heard the ruckus and made her way over to the table as well. She sat down and said, Hey everybody, what's the bit with that big dimple smile? I smiled and replied, Hey Kadada. Also seemed happy to see her as she said, Hey, what's up, Kimmy? Kamora never the type to hold her tongue when straight at it. The whole place is buzzing with the fact you're sitting here accusing Sean of having Pac shot. Y'all kinda loud. She laughed. Kadada seemed embarrassed as she looked around to see everybody staring and whispering, but she wasn't about to back off. In fact, she doubled down. Anybody here not talking about it ain't real anyway. We all know Sean was behind it. Gamora forced a smile. Honey, we don't have to do this here. Kadada made it clear she was not to be silenced as she continued. Oh, let's not hurt the feelings of Sean Puffy Combs. He only had one of the most prolific rappers in the game shot. Sean clenched his hands into fists. If this was anyone else, this wouldn't have turned out ugly. But this was Quincy Jones' daughter. Sean was a monster in the streets, well feared by men that knew, but he did not want any of the smoke Quincy Jones could bring. Kadada could continue with the impunity. Sean could not touch her. Christopher and Mary both wanted to defend the super producer that made them famous, but started to stand and make their way over to the table. But Sean signaled them off with a firm motion of his hand. They remained in their seats, watching helplessly. Kadada seemed to be on a full rampage. You're not safe in these streets, Sean. You think you're untouchable? Kimura seemed almost red in the face when she grabbed Kadada by the hand, saying, I gotta go to the restroom. Kazada is not willing to stop, snatched her hand away, yelling, "Let go of me." Kimura needed her to get a grip and said, sternly as a parent speaking to a child might tantrum, "Da." Kazada turned around and yelled, "What?" Kimura turned toward Kimura nodded toward the crowded room, and Kadada looked around. Here she deflated slightly. Kimura now in control spoke firmly but softly. "Let's go powder our nose." Kadada nodded. She was a grimace and gave a sharp look back at Sean and walked away. So pretty much there was a confrontation at an award show, and it looks like, Quincy Jones' daughter at the time gave Sean a piece of her mind and made a big scene, and everybody was looking, and it got kind of crazy. That's what I'm taking from this chapter right here. So it goes on to say, as the tension slowly melted away, I asked Sean, "You okay?" Sean didn't reply at all. He looked around, saw that no one was really paying attention now that the ruckus had died down, and stood to get the picture of ginger ale from Kadada's table. He poured himself a drink from it, looked around again, saw no one was paying attention, and put the picture under the table. What was he doing? Then I heard the distinct sound of liquid being poured into the liquid. "Oh my God, is he peeing in the pitcher?" He smiled at me as he brought the pitcher back from under the table and finally replied to me, "I'm good." He then stood and returned to the pitcher to the table. I was in awe. I knew he had a bad temper, but this was disgusting. I'll never eat or drink something around after we have an argument again. Kadada and Kimura made their way back to Kadada's table to sit as Sean watched on quietly. Sean made small talk. "What songs do you think will give me awards for?" As Kadada poured her drink, Sean's bodyguard made his way over to the table. I think he stopped her from drinking as everyone else just sat there and watched. Jean risked incurring Sean's wrath. If I'm right. Relieved, I replied, "Babe, your catalog is crazy. It could be a lot of songs." Sean glared at Kadada's table the entire night. So sounds like he was pretty pissed off that things didn't go his way, and you know, he did what he had to do. Allegedly. So fair use, full disclaimer. Again, this is the chapters in the book, Kim's Lost Word. This is chapter 9. Chapter 9 is titled Going Back to Cali. What's good? Just chilling. How you doing? Thank you for popping through right now. I'm here doing an audio of chapters 8 through 17 of Kim's Lost Words. If you don't know, Kim's Lost Words are the book and alleged memoirs of Kim Porter. So that's what this is about. So now I'm on to chapter 9. It's titled Going Back to Cali. We had a wild night. It was after one of Sean's infamous parties. Everyone was there, and we not only had threesomes, but we also swapped partners. Our sex lives was crazy, but I got to do things with Sean I wouldn't have been able to do with a straight man. Sean cared about me, but it was becoming more and more obvious that he preferred men. I was beginning to think I was there more to cover his wild desires than because he really wanted to be with me. He was like Caesar, every woman's man and every man's man. But truthfully, at that stage, I was becoming okay with it. I woke up and left the bedroom where I was with Jada Pinkett and Sean. Happened to be coming out of the bedroom with XXXXX. So in the book, I wanted to remind you guys, like yesterday, there's certain people named in the books that's like kind of redacted or blanked out. So certain people names are thrown out and certain people's names are not thrown out. So you have to read between the lines and figure out who she's talking about. So I read that again. So whenever I say XXXX, that's just pretty much someone's name that she's not putting out there. So Just Chillin said they still questioning if that book's legit. Yeah, they are. They definitely are. So she goes and says, I woke up and left the bedroom where I was with Jada Pinkett, and Sean happened to be coming out of the bedroom with XXXX and Will Smith. Yes, XXXX attended the parties from time to time. I could see him and Will kind of snuggled up on the bed together. I was grateful I wasn't asked to join in that room. I didn't really like XXXXX. Sean smiled when he saw me. Good morning. Here at the orgies, he wasn't very affectionate. He didn't have to pretend, but he couldn't walk straight. I knew how his ass felt, literally. We've had sessions playing with each other's anal cavities. I wanted to be more I wanted to be home before Quincy woke up, so I told him I'm getting ready to go. He responded, let's have a cup of coffee first. That meant he wanted to talk to me. I didn't know what about, but in situations like this, I didn't really have a choice. He was becoming more violent when he didn't get what he wanted, and I didn't really want to fight, so I sat down before we got started talking. XXXXX came out of the room. Sean was wearing boxers. XXX was in his birthday suit. XXX addressed us. Morning. When he turned around in order to close the door, there was a dried CUM stain on his back. XXX walked over, pulled the chair out to sit down between next to us, and lit a blunt. Sean stretched, smiled, and said, "This East Coast West Coast beef is more lucrative than I thought, but it was getting dangerous." XXX responded, surprised. Business first thing in the morning, damn cuz you on it. But you know you don't do nothing. You don't got nothing to worry about. You got it pass, daddy. XXX smiled coyly. Sean apparently had something to talk about with XXXX as well because he said I can't protect everybody, especially if someone is no longer going to be on my label. It was apparent that XXX was taken aback by the turn of offense by his reply. Sean, are you saying what I think you're saying? Sean continued, it's taxing on my resources to protect people. Someone that isn't 100 on my team can get 100% of my protection. What the hell is going on here? What does Sean want from me? This morning has turned out to be way more than I expected, and I have to go. Quincy will be looking for me. Quincy is her son, her first son with singer I'll Be Sure. Meanwhile, XXX apparently wanted clarity. So to be clear, if something happens, XXX made quotation marks with his fingers to one of your artists that we leave in your label anyway, it will be considered he makes another set of quotation marks out of control. So like you know how you put your fingers up like you're quoting somebody, put like your index finger, your middle finger, then you bend them when you're talking. Like he's saying pretty much that. Like so you're pretty much saying if something happens to one of your artists on your label, like you okay with that? Pretty much. Is that what you're saying? Wait a minute. Can they be talking about Biggie? Is Sean saying he won't protect Biggie? At that point, I was too young, too naive, too hungover to understand that this was not a lack of protection. This was a hit. Where did this come from this morning? But an older, wiser me understands now what I did not comprehend all those years ago. Sean was just getting to the real reason that he had XXX there. The world was about to lose Biggie. XXX laughed. You a cold motherfucker, Sean. Why the fuck should I protect someone that isn't gonna stick around? I made him. That nigga should be worshiping the ground I fucking walk on. I was thinking Sean's ego was rearing its ugly head, and I wanted to get out of there, but instincts told me I need to tread carefully. So my next move had to be calculated. I didn't really want any part of this, not even implicitly, but I was just dragged right in the middle of it. If I wasn't having happening, if what was happening here comes out, will I be held as an accomplice? But even as those thoughts crossed my mind, I couldn't just pretend this was okay. So I said, "But Sean, he hasn't left yet. They're just rumors. Are you going to let him die because of some rumors?" Sean glared at me. The ink in his voice obviously stemmed from hurt as he said, "I know when I'm being betrayed. I'm not killing anyone, but I'm not protecting something that doesn't have my back 150%. Fuck that." That was really out of control. My mind began to race. Is there a way to get through to him? Maybe I could use the finance route. Sean, he's bringing in so much money. You put so much money into cultivating him. Are you going to throw all that money away? That's when he revealed how. That's when he revealed that's when he revealed how thought out this meeting really was. If he leaves, he takes all the money I invested into creating him, Sean sighs. But if he can't protect himself, and if something terrible does happen, then the money I would make off of his death will blow away all the money we made so far. I was perplexed. Sean, he continued, he's worth more to me dead than alive. Sean Combs is a calculated monster. XXX chimes in. I get that, fam. A lot of people out here want Biggie dead too. Without your protection, he doesn't stand a chance in Cali. Biggie's gonna die. This is crazy. I dare not say anything else about it. Sean smiles and stands to walk over to a safe behind the picture. There he pulls out a bag marked with XXX name. He turns to XXX and says, "That's why you're worth your weight in gold. You understand me? Here's a little something for you to take care of my people." XXX smiles. "Sean, I love you, baby. You know I got your back. Your problems are my problems. I make sure to have my people take care of your people. I need to get out of here. This is crazy." I attempted to leave again. "Sean, I want to go get Quincy before he wakes up." Sean looked at me and responded, "It's getting late. Give him a kiss for me. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you, God." XXX always was something to say. I love to meet the little text sometimes. Not a chance in hell. Something about this guy gave me the creeps. I forced a smile. That would be great. I made my exit. I want to know who the hell is XXX. Chapter 10, The Lies You Tell. At this point, the relationship between Sean and I had been off and on for quite a while, and we were off at this point. His hand, he had put his hands on me again, and this time for something that didn't even happen. It was all in his head. When the phone rang, I picked it up anyway. Hi, Sean. He sounded trepidatious as he said, "We've been broken up for a while this time." Yeah, he continued. I don't want anyone to know about my. He paused to search for the right word. And then he says, proclivities. I replied, so you don't want people to know about you being gay? Sean exploded. See, that's why I don't fuck. He like he said, see, that's why I fucking lose control on you. So I just plainly stated, goodbye, Sean. Wait, he screamed. What, Sean? I'm sorry. Okay, you're always fucking sorry. He took a deep breath. I had to do something to cover myself. I sighed. Do whatever you fucking want, Sean. When you see this in the news, it's not real. This made me calm down a bit. What could he be talking about? He continued, I'm only doing it for the press. Doing what, Sean? After a long pause, he continued, she knows what this is. She's just pretending to cover me. Sean, what the hell are you talking about? Another pause. Publicly, I'm going to be dating someone else, a video girl. I laughed. Why would I do that? I have to cover myself. I was getting mad. I was actually angry at myself more than him. Why was I getting jealous though? I was sitting there actually comparing myself to a video vixen in my mind. They are thick, but look at my body. Did he prefer them light skinned big butt girls from videos? I calmed myself. No, I know he likes men any damn way. As I regained control, I asked, why the hell are you telling me? He sighed, I want you to find out from me first, like I give a shit. He came at me with his favorite line, you know I love you. It was getting old. I could only tell myself, here we go. Love is a big, strong word. I'm tired of him throwing it around and using it when he feels, when he fits, when it fits his needs. He uses it while he's sitting here telling me about dating someone else. I replied, you don't hit people you love, Sean. Love doesn't hurt. He sucked his teeth as he responded, come on, are you serious? That's just for children. We aren't in fucking high school. Sometimes things happen. That doesn't mean I don't love you. I wouldn't hit you if I didn't. Wait. That sounded wrong. You said exactly what you meant. He took a breath. There was an awkward silence. The fact I was still on the phone and waiting for him to speak meant he had the power. He was more cautious as he continued. He didn't want to lose the power. Kim, no one that I don't care about can bring that kind of emotion out of me. I wanted to say that. Is that how you talk to dudes after using butt plugs? But there's a line I dare not cross. So pretty much she said that when he was saying all of this, she wanted to say to him, do you talk to the niggas that be putting butt plugs in your butt the same way you talking to me right now? Yikes. Um, but as she said, I did not cross that line. Instead, I said, you said that while you're dating some other bitch, that's just for public. I was done. It could be heard in my voice as I said, whatever, Sean, do what you need to do. Leave me alone. I'm never giving up on us, he cried. I responded to that emotional control attempt with the little resolve I could muster. I didn't even believe the words that came tumbling out of my mouth. Sean, there is no us anymore. Goodbye. Tell Quincy I miss him, he threw out. He emotionally manipulation was really driving me crazy. The time I said with much more conviction, goodbye, Sean, and I hung up. Manipulative bastard. Chapter 11 is titled Mo Problems. So it goes on to say, for a while, I was actually happy to see Sean gone. I was getting older and the sex parties were out of control. It was getting time for me to slow down. Quincy was getting older. I knew that if I kept going, the rumors were circulating. We're going to eventually find a way to get back to him. What will he think of me? Chris is about to take a trip to California. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen out there, but I felt like Tiana Wallace was about to be an orphan. I know I didn't want any ties to that. As I was sitting there contemplating all of this in my robe, sipping my wine on a Friday evening, my doorbell rings. I was not expecting company. I opened the door and found Sean. My heart skipped a beat. I was shocked but recovered quickly. I forced a smile and told him slightly with a slightly slurred speech, hey, come on in. Shit, am I more intoxicated than I thought, I guess? Sean entered looking around suspiciously, then turned to me and smiled and says, you haven't been returning my calls. I just wanted to say, what he says? I wanted to make sure you're okay. I'm fine. He obviously was not here on concern. He wanted to check to see who else was here with me. Sean was controlling like that. Yes, even though we were not together, he was dating someone else. He started to make his way to the living room. I attempted to put a quick end to the visit, but it came out a lot more direct than I intended. So since you can see I'm fine, you can let me go to bed now. Part of me wanted him to stay. As he entered the living room, I was forced to follow Sean. I was forced to follow. Sean was very direct with his next inquiry. Is someone else waiting for you? No, but Sean was. We're not together. You're dating someone else. I can fuck whoever I choose. With this, Sean became irate. He fiercely slapped me into the ground. Then he pulled out a 22 and sat it on the end of the table. He turned to me calmly. I was scared. My voice quivered as I pled to him, Sean, please stop once he is here. How do you get here? How do we get here? How do we get to this point that he was in my living room threatening me with a gun? He knelt on one knee and got right in my face and said, you're mine. You don't have a choice in that now. I can't live without you. He stood up composing himself. I was terrified as I whimpered, Sean, that's not love. Sean picked up the gun and cocked it. He looked at me almost thoughtfully and asked, have you ever heard if I can't have, he says, have you ever heard if I can't have you, no one can? Sean, please don't. Please, Quincy will hear. Sean smiled and put the gun away, saying, oh, this is just for dramatic effect. I will never shoot you. If I was going to kill you, no one would trace it to me. You know how many people I have to take care of over the years? It would be quiet, something in your food or something in your drink, something that would never get back to me. I wouldn't shoot you. Do you understand that? I could only nod, tears falling down my cheeks. He looked at me, thoughtless. As he reached down to help me, I could do nothing but agree. He's a terrifying monster. Now he wanted to smooth it over, and I had to go along with it. What else could I do? Listen, baby, I don't ever want to hurt you. You know I really love you, or I would have moved on. Thinking about living my life without you is just too hard. If someone ever tried to hurt you, I would kill them. My back hurts from where I hit from where I hit it on the table when he shoved me. All I could do is help. All I could do as he helped me up was nod, and I understood through my streaming tears, which he wiped away. He looked towards Quincy's room. Let me say goodnight. No, Sean, please. She's begging him not to go say goodnight to her son after he just hit her. No, Sean, please. He, thinking quickly, he has to get up in the morning. Sean looked at me. Sean looked at me with unreadable look. He was studying me. Okay, I'm gonna go. Nervously, I walked him to the front door. This is over, thank God. He kissed me. I didn't want him to touch me, but I couldn't refuse. Kiss Quincy for me. I tried to keep my composure as I replied. Sure, Sean. He opened the door to leave. The bodyguard was waiting outside. The bodyguard that was waiting outside escorted him to the car. This was far worse than I realized. Why would he need a bodyguard at my front door? How was he anticipating this to go? After I shut the door, I had another drink. For tonight, the nightmare was over. I sipped on my wine and cried. The next few days, he sent dozens of flowers. He poured Quincy expensive toys. He didn't want me. Lord have mercy. She says he didn't want me. He wanted me to keep his secret. I'm trapped. He has the authorities under his thumb. I can't go to them now. This is a gangster movie. How high up does the power go? How far is his reach? The FBI, the CIA, who is not corrupted or won't get silenced by their upper chain of command? Can anyone help me and my child? He found his way back to my bed. I had no choice. Good evening, Jose. How are you? Thanks for stopping through. I'm actually reading audio. I'm actually reading a book called Kim's Porter's Lost Words. Actually called Kim's Lost Words. This is the late baby mother of Sean Puff Daddy Combs, and she has a memoir that's out that she allegedly wrote before her death, as she was anticipating her death. Chapter 12: A Mama's Love. The calamity that ensued behind the death of Vicky shook the East Coast. It rocked me as well. Sean could have stopped it. He was complicit in it. He was a contributor. He knew it was going to happen and didn't stop it. This was his friend. Though they were not nearly as close as Sean would have the public believe, but still. As far as Sean was concerned, we were great. To the public, we were just having an off and on relationship of normal couples, and I probably just seemed like a money hungry hoe. But the truth is, I just got used to not having a choice. Today, I recognize it for what it was: Stockholm syndrome. I was at his beck and call and had been uncomfortable with it. Quincy had everything he could ever want, with the exception, of course, of a normal parental figure. That is why this chapter is so powerful for me. A mother love is so real. One night I was out with my boyfriend. Yes, we were on again, and we were joined for a dinner by none other than Mrs. Wallace. For those of you who don't know who Miss Wallace is the mother of the late Notorious B.I.G. Her name is Miss Wallace. Sean looked over as security allowed Miss Wallace to approach the table and sit. Miss Wallace spoke with a smile. Hello, Sean. Hi, Kim. I smiled the best I could. What a situation. What a situation, because she knows what she knows. For all intents and purposes, she's sitting with her son's killer. I hope my voice didn't betray my feelings as I said, Hi, Miss Wallace. Sean smiled also. He said, Hello, Miss Wallace. What can I do for you? When I got your call, it sounded urgent. He was able to appear as if he was smiling warmly. This was the creepiest situation of my entire life. She looked at Sean with pleading eyes. I know this isn't your problem, but things have gotten kind of hard. I was hoping that you could send me some of that money Chris made with you this way. Sean shook his head. That's not something I can do. There are attorneys and accountants. Can I maybe help you with a little something to get you past this hump? Sean reached into his pocket to dig for his wallet. I haven't even seen how much Chris left. It's going on 2 years. Just how long is this gonna take? This is Vicky Small's mother allegedly saying this to Puff Daddy allegedly. Sean sighed as he replied, These things are difficult, Miss Wallace. I don't know. The attorneys don't make this easy. Miss Wallace pushed further. I don't understand what's so difficult. He worked for you. He made his money. Where is it? Sean shook his head as if saddened by what he was saying as he continued. It's not like I can just give you his money. You're entitled to certain amounts, and they are just trying to figure out what the amount is. I don't mean to sound cruel, but if you want to be fair with me, he said, I don't mean to sound cruel, but it wouldn't be fair to me to just give you tons of money. You got rich off my son, and now you're just keeping all of his money. Sean kept his cool as he replied, I'm afraid business isn't that cut and dry, Miss Wallace. I pay for publishing, publicity. I mean, in all actuality, if I'm going to be straightforward, Miss Wallace, Chris probably owed me money. I wouldn't know until it all worked out. So have a good weekend. Have a good weekend just chilling. Thank you for stopping by. Um, the anger in Miss Wallace's voice barely overshadowed the pain, or perhaps it's magnified as if she uttered the only word she could muster. You bastard. Sean didn't flinch. He just said, Look at the contract. I'm honestly trying to get him as much as possible out of it. But I have investors. I can't just take money that doesn't belong to him and start giving it away. Miss Wallace exploded in response. You know good and well Chris didn't owe you a damn thing. Sean stared her straight in the eye, unwavering, and said he would have started making a profit after a few years. His money until his album sales paid for studio time, music videos, publishing, and marketing, which which would have come from doing shows. I'm sorry he isn't here to make that money. I miss him. Her response was deadpan. Did you kill my son? Momentarily, Sean was stunned into silence. She asked again, her voice quivering. Did you? He started, Miss Wallace. She would not be redirected. Answer the question. I was not used to seeing Sean on the fence. No, of course not. She looked at him with spite and the anger in her voice, enough to send shivers up my spine, as she replied with a menace only a mother can. I don't believe you, Sean. Sean looked at her with a sadness that I knew in my soul to be fake, although looking at him without context, anyone would believe him as he replied, I'm sorry to hear that. Today, I know he was able to muster that full sincerity because he's a sociopath. Back then, I thought it was compassion. With no more words, Miss Wallace stood up and left. Sean watched her exit in disbelief. Not knowing what to do, I placed my order. Dinner that night was long and silent. I feared for Miss Wallace's life. Sean is the most dangerous when he feels threatened. No, she could not physically threaten him, but this threat was real. If she goes public with her accusation, Sean's image will be damaged. I have felt for myself the extent he will go through in order to protect that image. Whew, I need a sip of water. Um, Again, as I'm reading, if you're following, you just see the situation she's in. She's not leaving the situation. She's in it. She feels like she has to stay in it, and she knows a lot she doesn't want to know, and she sounds afraid. She definitely sounds afraid. So, chapter 13, have some faith. The fact of the matter is, Sean was a complete control freak. He was absolutely worse. But all of the things he did for control, this might have been one of the most despicable ones. We were in the bad boy office one evening, sitting in the lounge area enjoying a meal. Sean was smoking one of those big cigars he liked when Faith entered and sat down with us. Faith would be Faith Evans, who was the R&B singer that was signed to Bad Boy. She had that song, Soon as I Get Home. Yeah, she had that song. So, just want to give you some context. She seemed relaxed as she said, Hey guys, I smiled. I never had any bad vibes from this marvelous Faith Evans. We never talked about wild times the three of us shared at one of Sean's party. I gave her a hug. Hey girl, what's up? Sean smiled and asked, Hey, what brings you out? She addressed Sean saying, Look, when you asked me to hook up with Chris, I understood. You needed to control him. I felt honored that you would choose me to monitor one of your most valuable assets. Chris is sweet. Sean laughed and said, Honestly, I knew you would be good. Make that big man feel love. I don't feel good about all this, Sean. Sean got all Sean got that look in his eyes and he gets before he blows his top. Faith saw it also. She treaded carefully. Sean, you know I'm as loyal as they come. Sean leaned forward unintentionally threatening and said in a low tone, Yeah. But Sean, Chris and I had a child together. Sean leaned back. He let out a deep breath. I'm gonna take care of you. You're not like Chris. You're loyal. Your Faith had tears in her eyes as she responded. He didn't have to die. This is getting very touchy. Did she know? Did she suspect? Was this her trying to find out if Sean intentionally killed Biggie? I wanted to ask, but of course there was no way of doing that. This is crazy. Sean sighed and replied, He didn't. Don't get me wrong, I miss him, but he was leaving me anyway. No one cares about my pain. Classic narcissist Sean. It's all about him. I was sickening for a moment, but his next sentence made me feel for him anyway. I wanted to share all of this with him. He was my man. Faith couldn't hide the anger that was clear in her eyes, but she knew who she was talking to. She was careful as she spoke. Sean, you have your friends you share things with. Sean sat forward again, this time with malicious intent as he queried, What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Chris had no one, only you. Sean lost it. That fat fuck and that other piece of shit I had, you fuck, I interjected while in shock. You had her fuck Pac? Sean glared at me as he answered, Yes, fucking Pac. Those motherfuckers are gonna try to start their own label and compete with me. Me, after all I did for that fuck, nah, I wasn't using resources to protect that motherfucker. No fucking way. As Faith started to cry, Sean looked at her and softened slightly. He spoke a little calmer. Look, I didn't hate him. I was hurt, but I didn't hate him. I'll make sure you and CJ are taken care of. Without words, Faith got up to leave. As she turned, Sean spoke softly, Faith. She ignored him. He called her again, Faith. She exited quickly. Sean just looked at me and said, Damn, I really didn't know what to say. Sean just told Faith he didn't want to protect her husband because he was going to leave Bad Boy from a business perspective. I didn't disagree with Sean there. If you're leaving and creating competition for him, why would he spent resources on you? So I hugged Sean, but I also knew he didn't have to send Chris to California. I wondered if he realized that he sentenced him to death. He hugged me back with tears in his eyes and he asked, How the fuck am I the bad guy? Huh? I fucking do nothing but bust my ass to make everyone live comfortably and I'm supposed to just let niggas walk all over me? As I held him in a comforting embrace, I replied, No, baby. He took me right there on the couch. Like I said, Stockholm Syndrome. Chapter 14, Shine. So, in this chapter, she starts off by saying, This particular evening, I was at Sean's house, and Quincy was staying with a friend. It was some alone time for Sean and I until the doorbell rang, and Sean got up to answer it. I heard a woman yelling, and would quickly realize that it was Jennifer Lopez, or better known at the world as J-Lo. Sean, what the fuck? She blasted. Sean responded calmly, Relax, baby. Why the hell did you have to start shooting? Isn't that what we have bodyguards for? Normally, when these kinds of situations arise, I remain quiet and just listen. I play my position, you could say, but I wasn't paying attention to the news for the last day or so. So even though it would be the only thing anyone was talking about for months, no one has spoken to me about it yet. So I entered the foyer asking, "What's going on?" Jennifer exploded at me. "What's going on? What's going on? This nigga shot up a damn club." My jaw dropped, looking back and forth between the two. Sean spoke soothingly. "Jen, you gotta calm down." Jennifer was having none of it. She continued, Calm down, calm down. You shot a bunch of innocent people, Sean." Sean placed his hands on her forearm. It was a bonding technique. He was shrewd in handling her. He does this to me, too. Even if we know what's happening, it works. It's an intimate contact without being personal. He was aiming to disarm her. This did not seem to immediately sway Jennifer as she continued, Why in the hell did you think Biggie's replacement will take the fall for you? Biggie's replacement? What could she be talking about? I had to know. Are you talking about Shine? Jennifer didn't even look at me as she responded, yes, fucking Shine. Sean continued with a calm and even voice. Relax. The situation's under control. Jennifer was not calming down. She went on. They contacted my attorney, Sean, for my statement, and there are a lot of witnesses, Sean. There's no way you're going to get away with this. Sean arrogance can be immeasurable at times. He laughed as he said, you doubting me? I couldn't believe it. I had to know. Sean, what could you offer him that would make him do a bid for you? Like, what the fuck? Jennifer also remarked. And what if he falters halfway through the sentence and starts talking? Sean responded as calm as ever. He won't do that. People in jail don't cross connected people like on the outside. Jennifer looked deflated. So you'll kill him too? How much does she know? Look, I'm not gonna threaten anyone. Sean is smart and loyal. He knows how it works, and when he gets out, he'll be well taken care of. Jennifer spoke defiantly. Sean, they want to question me. I'm not perjuring myself. I'm not going to jail over this. Sean seemed so in control. I admired him for it at this point, but my spirits were broken. I feel bad for Jennifer. She catches one bad break after another, and this was really a bad break. Sean spoke with confidence. Relax, come on, come in and have a drink. Have your lawyers call mine. You'll never see the witness stand. I promised Jennifer wasn't sure. She asked him. No, she said, I promise. Jennifer wasn't so sure. She asked him, how can you possibly know? Sean smiled as he replied, between Sean's confession and the witnesses that gave their accounts, the cops won't need much. The statement from the lawyer will be fine. Jennifer's next attorney popped up. She explained, what about my attorney? Sean, he's good. He won't do this. Beaming with confidence, the way the way only a man with his network can speak. Sean responded, sure he will. Jennifer shook her head defiantly as she responded, Sean, you don't know him. Sean's unbreakable confidence was ruling the day. Sean, you don't know him. Sean's unbreakable confidence was ruling the day. Jennifer was giving in, and as Jennifer was giving in as he told her with a smile, I got this. Sean, are you sure? Sean gave her a wink. My attorneys handle the situation. Give them my number too. Jennifer seemed leery as she asked, you're not going to threaten my attorney? Sean laughed at her as he replied, no, of course not. Money talks, baby. He turned to me and said, take her inside and pour her a drink. So he's telling his baby mother, Kim Porter, to pour Jennifer Lopez a drink after Jennifer Lopez comes in his house screaming at him regarding the shooting that happened in a nightclub with him, Jennifer Lopez, and Shine back in the 90s. This is what they're talking about right now, just to speed anyone up. So, I had questions of my own. This is Kim Porter, the woman's book I'm reading right now. But you are going to make Shine the label go-to man? What are you going to do now? Sean looks disappointed as he responded. He had the voice, but his flow. He sighed. Well, artists with this talent are a dime a dozen. Looking at Jen, he continued, he's not a one in a lifetime kind like Jennifer Lopez. They talking about Shine, so they're pretty much talking about how is this gonna go down. So I'm gonna go back again because I feel like maybe I'm sounding a little bit choppy. I'm gonna start from the beginning. Jennifer wasn't sure, so she asked him, how can we possibly know this? Sean smiled as he replied, between Sean's confession and the witness that gave their account, the cop won't need much. The statement from the lawyer will be fine. Jennifer's next return popped up. She explained, my attorney, Sean, he's good, but he won't do this. Beaming with confidence, the only way a man with this network can. Sean responded, sure he will. Jennifer shook her head and defiantly she responded, Sean, you don't know him. Sean unbreakably confident was ruling the day. Jennifer was giving in as he told her with a smile, I got this. Sean, are you sure? Sean gave a wink. My attorneys handle the situation. Give him my number too. Jennifer seemed leery as she asked, you're not going to threaten my attorney? Sean laughed as he replied, no, of course not. Money talks, baby. He turned to me and said, take her inside and pour her a drink. I had questions of my own, but you were going to make Sean the label to go-to man? What are you going to do now? Sean looked disappointed as responding. He had the voice, but his flow, he sighed. Well, artists with this talent are a dime a dozen. Looking at Jen, he continued, he's not a once in a lifetime kind like Jennifer Lopez. Now he's throwing out the charm. Despite the situation, she blushed slightly. Sean continued, let's grab a drink. Let me handle the attorney situation. Relax, don't worry. We left the foyer and went to have a seat in the living room. He tried to have a threesome that night, but it didn't work out. Not that day. Whew, child. Chapter 15, Queen Bitch. Gamora Simmons and I went out to have a drink. She was looking at me seductively, and I was turned on. We were going to go back to her place afterwards, but suddenly, after sipping my drink, I felt like I had to vomit. I excused myself and barely made it to the ladies' room. When I came back, Kimura asked, "Are you feeling okay?" Fine. I have been under the weather since the last couple of days. I think I'll head home, she said. Your breasts are looking kind of plump there, girl. Embarrassed, I whispered, "Not in public." She replied simply, "Are you pregnant?" I was taken completely aback. Why the hell would you ask that? She said, she said, she she let it sit in there for a minute. I bet in her head she was like, wait for it. Then it hit me. Shit. She gave me a minute before continuing. So what you gonna do? I didn't understand. Gonna do. If it's not Sean's, fuck. If it is, what the fuck she said, if it's not Sean, fuck. If it is, with the shock wearing off, the scope of the situation began to take hold. I responded, I better get a test. She looked at me with pity. Damn, girl, good luck. After what he did to Chris, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. The desire that was in his eyes before I got sick was all gone. The desire in her eyes before I got sick was all but gone. As I began to stand, I realized what she said to me, and I paused. She looked at me flatly and said, "Ain't nobody stupid, girl." I didn't know what to say. The question still lingered in my mind despite everything I knew. Did Puffy intentionally kill Chris? Turning the page. She brought me back to the moment by saying, "Go." Not knowing what else to say, but knowing I had to deal with my situation right now, I replied, "I'll hit you up." She sighed and simply repeated, "Good luck." So, in that chapter, Kamora Lee Simmons and Kim Porter allegedly had a moment where it sounds like they were doing risque, possibly lesbian things. Fair use disclaimer. You get the book, you can interpret it how you want to, but it sounded like they were a little bit flirtatious, a little sexual with each other. I don't know, or they were like really just touchy feely with each other. I don't know. And she ends up telling her, "You look like you may be pregnant." Telling her you may go take a pregnancy test, see if you're pregnant. Chapter 16, Christian. The next day, I was sitting on my couch deep in thought when my doorbell rang. I went to let Sean in. This was going to be scary. We made our way back to the living room where we sat down. Quincy was asleep. Sean seemed legitimately concerned. It was so urgent. I didn't know what else to do. I just blurted out, "I'm pregnant." The interview was as thick as J-Lo. He was quiet. What is he thinking? He asked the obvious question, "Are you sure?" I spoke rapidly. "I was on the pill. I'll get rid of it. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to know." He goes, "That's wonderful. This is great." I was so confused. "Huh? You're not mad?" He laughed. "Mad? No. Why would I be mad at the wonderful news? I'm going to be a dad with the woman I love bearing my child. What could possibly be better?" He jumped right on the phone and called one of his besties. I could hear Will Smith congratulating him. Sean said, "Yeah, definitely. Hold on, Kim, baby." I was still in awe of the fact that he didn't get angry. And yes, I'll admit, I was sure he was going to hit me. So it was a relief when I replied, "Yes," he told me excitedly, "We're gonna have a party." His excitement was contagious. I was getting really excited too. Yes, a gender reveal, and he cut me off. "Yes, of course, we're gonna do all of that, but everyone's gonna want to sleep with you right before you give birth." My heart sank in my chest. "Everybody's gonna want to what?" Sean went on with the same excitement. "Well, not everybody. Will, Jada, XXX. Sean, I'm having your baby." He verbally waved me off. "It'll be fine." I couldn't help myself. I just started crying, and Sean grew quiet on the phone, then spoke low. "I'll call you back." He hung up and took me by the hand. Baby, I'll never ask anything from you." I tried to see him through the tears streaming down my face. I couldn't believe what the words that would come out of his mouth. I tried to speak. "Sean," he cut me off. "I provide everything anyone ever wants. Do you want for anything?" Sobbing, I replied, "No." But he continued, "This is the kind of thing I have to do in order to continue to give us the comfortable lifestyle where you live in the lap of luxury and get to be on TV shows and in movies. I know you don't want this, but do you want to give this all away? Do you want this to all go away?" A whimper is all I could manage, and I said no. He continued softly, "Then we gotta do this," I said. "But Sean, I don't believe in all the spiritual crazy shit. We got here because you're brilliant, not because of the sex parties." He replied, "Do you trust me?" I did. My soul was so broken. I did. I responded, "Yes." He sighed as he said, "Then let's do what we need to do to keep what we have." As I nodded yes, he pulled me in to hug me. "Thank you, baby. We're going to have a beautiful baby." He ordered me some food, and that night I cried myself to sleep. I was going to be gang banged at 9 months pregnant. I want my children out of this life. My child's going to have a good biblical name, a heavy Christian name. They're not going to take his soul. Chapter 17, Broken Promises. So I want to let you guys know I'm towards the end of the book. I think I probably have maybe 2 more chapters and the book is done. You can throw some comments in there if you want. Let me know if you read the book. Please subscribe to the channel. Let me know what's good. So chapter 17, Broken Promises. I don't know how to manage to, I don't know how this managed to stay out of the media for so long, but Sean got to the point where he was incredibly abusive and only his inner circle knew about it. The artists were all too afraid of him to say anything. He had gained so much power. No one would say anything. Puff Daddy was a kingpin. This Monday afternoon, Quincy was in school and our son Christian was with the nanny and I still had to make a living. I still loved the cameras and had just been cast for a new movie. Sean was coming over to celebrate with me, just the 2 of us. I was in the bathroom when he came in. We were supposed to go out for dinner, but he was in a foul mood. Sean, yo, what the fuck? I would have had to walk on eggshells as I came out the bathroom, but I found him holding flowers, so I smiled. You bought me flowers? Sean, yo, no, so who the fuck are they from? I was bewildered and told him honestly, I don't know. Probably just a fan. He threw the attached card at me. I picked it up and read it. Sean, he slapped me so hard I hit the ground. Sean yelled, who the fuck were you with the other night? I looked down at the card was lying on the ground next to me and it read, the other night was amazing. We must do it again. Shit, I tried to explain. Sean, he threw my flowers at me. That's not how it works. You have my child. You don't touch anyone unless I allow it. I yelled. He yelled back. It was just coffee with the producer. It was nothing. He glared at me and said, who the fuck is this producer? I was trying desperately to calm him down as I responded. From the movie, babe, calm down. He picked up my coffee mug and slammed it against the wall. Coffee flew everywhere to yell. Who the fuck is this nigga think he is? Sean, he's just some producer. We talked about the role and maybe starring in another movie that he wants to produce. I swear that's it, Sean. Sean exploded even more. He wants to put the movie on my fucking he said he wants to put the move on my fucking family at the top of his lungs. My fucking family. He flipped the table over, breaking it. It was a heavy table, but Sean is stronger than he looks. I plead with him, Sean, please. He yelled at me. What? I tried my best to calm down. He probably didn't know. It didn't come up. You're probably publicly dating someone else. So what's the problem? So he screams at me and somehow it seemed even more intense. So you didn't tell him back off? Sean, I didn't. And then out of nowhere, he hit me with a chair. I don't remember anything after that until I woke up in the hospital room. My arm was in a cast, hanging from a sling. My face was hurt. My eyebrow was in immense pain, as well as my lip. As I came to, the first face I saw was the man that put me there. Sean asked me with a concerned voice, "How are you feeling?" I responded, "Stay away from me. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I save it for the lawyers. Stay away from me." We were in a private hospital room and no one would hear me. I could scream like my life depended on it, but it wouldn't matter. If I did ring for assistance, I wouldn't get any. He kept going. He kept going. I was so jealous. You know how I am. You have I was so jealous. You know how I am. You have dot dot dot. He took my hold of my left arm, the one that was not slung up in the cast. You have our beautiful son, our family. It's just at it's just dot dot dot. That's how it is in the book. At that point I had enough. The one you slutted out right before giving birth. Are you fucking shitting me? Stay away from me. Don't come near me or my kids. He continued to plead. I'm sorry, babe. I promise. I'll never put my hands on you again. I swear. So before I got to this point, we were talking about the Jennifer Lopez situation. So she's pretty much yelling at him, talking about how we're not together, although I'm pregnant, and you're publicly dating someone else, and you're hitting on me like I'm your main girl, and you're publicly Jennifer Lopez's boyfriend. Like, what the hell? Like, I can't have no one compliment me, take me to a coffee date or a lunch date or a brunch date or nothing. But if you're thinking something, I gotta tell them our situation. So that's what kind of happened there. But I'll reread it in case it sounded kind of choppy. So I said, he kept going. I was so jealous. And you know how I am. He took hold of my left arm, the one thing that was not slung up in the cast. You have our beautiful son, our family. It's just, at that point, I had enough. The one you slutted out right before giving birth. Are you fucking shitting me? Stay away from me. Don't come near me or my kids. He continued to plead, I'm sorry, babe. I promise. I'll never put my hands on you again. I swear. I've heard this song so many times before. I spoke through gritted teeth. If you come near me or my kids again, I'll call the cops. A flash of anger returned. You know, you would use my kids to threaten me. But then he caught himself. I understand you're angry. I glared at him as I cut him off. I'm serious, Sean. He spoke blandly with no energy. And tell them what you have, he said, and tell them that you had a car accident. They'll pity you. Then, wow. Tell them that you had a car accident. They'll pity you, that you hit your head. He was going to make me look crazy. They're going to believe him. He was a kingpin. You're a fucking bastard. Sean spent the next 6 months helping me heal and working his way back into my life and into my bed. I was so damn stupid, and of course, I wasn't cast for either of the movies. From what I understand, the producer died from pneumonia. Oh, Irby, I'm happy you are. Thank you. I feel like I'm messing up. Chapter 18. Sweet goodbyes. Sean kept his word for the most part until he didn't. I ended up pregnant again. He wanted energy from that too. That would be my last sex party. My body will never be ravaged by so many people again, especially while being pregnant. What if something happened to the twins? After that, I wanted out, but when I tried dating someone else, they would end up dead from pneumonia. I knew Sean was behind it. This was not a coincidence. He gets jealous of a guy and they die of pneumonia. I could be next. If I'm going to get out of this alive, I'm going to have to do something to make him stay away from me. I had a plan, but it was dangerous. Sean has a vault where he keeps videotapes of all his conquests. I started sleeping with him again. After he falls asleep, he would start to drink heavily. I would go into the vaults and get copies of the tapes, take them home, make copies, and swap them for the next set of tapes a few days later. It took weeks to get them all copied, and he never knew that I had them. This was my way out. Some of the tapes had things I would never have expected. The gay parties are one thing, but the young boys, Usher, Little Bow Wow, Justin Bieber, I would have never ever known. My God, is he grooming Quincy? Quincy is her son, I'll be sure. This has to end. I invited him over one day to confront him and put an end to our on and off again relationship. He had entered my home unannounced for the last time. He would no longer have keys after that day. I was in the kitchen. Kimora and I were sharing drinks. Kimora is Kimora Lee Simmons, who is Russell Simmons' ex-wife, who was also an actress, model, female. She had the clothing line for Baby Fat back in the 90s. That's Kimora Lee Simmons. I was in the kitchen with Kimora and I were sharing drinks. I was scared to face him alone. Sean entered smiling. What's up, Kimmy? Hey, Mora. I told Sean, sit down. Because of my tone, he looked at me stunned and asked, what's going on? What is this? I responded with delight. Me taking my life back. We're done. He answered, hold on, wait a minute. I was so excited that I wasn't hearing any of it. I shouted at him, no, 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 no more. This is fucking over. He looked confused as he asked, where's all this coming from? With disgust, I said, I got the footage, Sean. He looked even more confused as he inquired, what are you talking about? Kimora said with the revulsion, Usher too? Sean said, wait, what the fuck is going on? Sean stood aggressively and Kimora responded, don't make me call the cops. Sean anchored with a creep in him as he replied, this is how it is. I simply nodded. If anything happens to either one of us, it gets released. He suckled his teeth as he squared. He said it as he squared. After all I've done for you, I don't think I was ever so happy as when I said those words to him. Get out. Pissed, he started to leave, looking back with pure hatred. As he walked down the stairs, he turned around in a fury and lunged at me. He knocked me down near the top of the stairs. I was hurt. Kimora screamed, stop! So pretty much Diddy and Kim Porter had a fight in front of Kimora, and Kimora was like trying to like tell him like chill the fuck out. As he began to crouch over me, I kicked at him, hitting him in the kneecap and then his face. He went tumbling down the stairs. He too hurt to get up. I called the cops. Kimora left before they arrived. When he left, it was an ambulance. I felt empowered. I felt safe. The Sean Combs days had finally come to an end. The finale, guys, chapter 19. So I'm gonna look through the chat before I end this, because I'm gonna have another conversation about this probably tomorrow. We could talk about this. What you think about it? Let's see. Okay. Someone says open relationships, all these sex parties. Yeah, it's really, really weird. I mean, there gotta be some truth to some of this. It may not all be true, but some of it may be true. Okay, guys, last chapter. Thank you guys for making it with me this far. If you made it this far in the video, please make sure you are hitting that like button, that subscribe button. Let me know that you care. Let me know how you feel. I'm going to be wrapping this up soon after I finish this last chapter as well. So this would be the good time to leave a comment to let me know something. So show some love. Show some love. Chapter 19. Things were okay for a while. I started dating again. It was almost normal until I got serious with someone. Then my boyfriend died from pneumonia. I knew it was Sean again. That's when I decided to write this book. A few days ago, my home was burglarized. Only laptops were stolen. I knew it was that bastard or his goons. Of course, I had a copy in the cloud that I was able to easily download here onto this new computer. As I continue to write now, I'll send this into the cloud as well. I will send out copies via email, and my Google Drive password will be attached so the missing chapters can be accessed. This book must get out. There are so many chapters to add. This outline is a great start. I have to organize the rest of the chapters and add them in little by little. I planned on spending today working on exactly that, but I'm not feeling very well. Thank God the kids aren't here this weekend so I can rest. I called Kamora to cancel our tentative plans for a meetup. When I spoke to her, she said, "Girl, that don't sound like the flu. You want to go to the hospital?" That didn't immediately alarm me. I just needed some rest. I told her and quickly got off the phone. Well, why can't I get my doctor? Why won't he pick up the phone? Oh no. I called Sean from my bedroom where I'm lying in my bed. All I could think about was my kids, my baby's horror with the monsters, the man I now suspect of having done this to me. Sean picked up on the air of superiority in the tone that led me to know it was too late for me. He spoke confidently in the phone. Hello? I screamed at him, "You bastard, I have your fucking children. What are you talking about?" "The kids are with me," he replied with a mocking innocence. "There's literally nothing I can do." I could only ask, "Did you ever love me?" Instead of answering the question, he responded, "The most important thing to me in this world is loyalty." I couldn't believe it. I had to even, wow, I couldn't even believe it. I had to ask, even though I understood. What the fuck does that mean? With the same fiend innocence he mocked. Kim, is something wrong? He's going to continue this game to the bitter end. I asked one last time, "How could you?" Again with the narcissism I had now come to despise, he responded. "How could I do what? I gave you everything. You went to someone else. You left me just like everyone else did. You asked how I could. How could I what?" I yelled, "Look what you did to everyone around you." There was only anger in his response. "So you're saying everyone leaves because of how I am and we're going to expose me?" He had me burglarized. I knew it. I shouldn't have threatened him. I should have just published my book. I'm gonna die like Heavy D, like Biggie, like Tupac, like so many others, and it's because he's a monster, plain and simple. Before hanging up, I simply say, Before hanging up, I simply say, "That's not the only copy, you fuck." Then I shoot out a group text. I let everyone know he got me. Then I call 911. As I sit here waiting for the ambulance, I'm writing this chapter and praying that I make it to the hospital. I don't feel like writing anymore. I may not be around to see this in print. It's okay. I'm sending it out. He won't get away with this. I will have my say, my final words. Sean Combs will get exposed, even if I lose my life doing it. My kids have always been my most cherished possession. I want the world to know that, but more importantly, I want them to know. And that is the end. That is the end of the book. It took me an hour and some change to read those last 7 chapters. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this audio, parts 8 through 17. Yesterday I dropped parts 1 through 7. You can definitely go back and find all the content of, everything missed. I'm told now this book is no longer online for sale. You cannot get it on Etsy. The family has spoken out, so Amazon is no longer selling copies of this book, so you cannot find this book anywhere. I think I may upload some actual pictures of the book online, maybe possibly, since now it can't be found anywhere. But thank you guys for showing up and sitting with me and writing in the chat and the comments about everything. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a happy weekend. I'm up out of here. Definitely leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this, and that's all I got for y'all. Peace out, y'all.